Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. We are all live, all the way live. That'll give you a chance to sing, but I wouldn't recommend it, man.
We all the way live. Hey, we all the way live.
Y'all just did that's a medley. That's two different songs. Nice.
Yeah,
it is. Same artist too. I like it.
Okay. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Fantastic code.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I have been running as my grandmama used to say, like a chicken with my head cut off. But I am here. I'm glad to be back. A bit of a whirlwind to Washington, D.C.
Drinking Hennessy on the South Lawn, huh?
No,
you
hen.
didn't. You didn't drink. You weren't one of the.
I wouldn't do that.
No, you wouldn't do.
No.
Okay.
No, but they had plenty of adult beverage, and but everybody was, very cool. And
I'm so mad. My friends were the one Hennessy on the South Lawn.
Right. I hang with a more feet crowd and a little bit older, I might say, and so it was fun. It went to the Juneteenth celebration hosted by the White House on the South Lawn last night, and it was a night to remember. A great night with, and somebody told me that they were streaming it last night. I don't know if anyone saw it.
They were. I mean, they were. They were.
It started out with Kirk Franklin. I love Kirk. I absolutely adore, and he has given me some of my favorite songs of all time. And when he did my very favorite, which is Smile, he went down in the audience and brought the vice president up on stage and danced with her. It was just like flat out beautiful moment. And she was, giggling like a little schoolgirl, because I don't know if the second gentleman, does the Kirk, whole thing with Kirk and singing and dancing and everything. Patti LaBelle was great. Gladys Knight. Patina Miller from the Stars Power series.
Yeah, that she can sing.
She is a Broadway baby.
Yes.
And an amazing talent. And so she was there. Trombone Shorty was really good. They did Brittany. I can't remember your last name, Brittany. Black country music singer. She performed, and then I know. Raheem Devon, and Raheem Devon and Anthony Hamilton. And then Uncle Charlie closed it out. It was just like it was a concert, made in heaven in honor of Juneteenth. And Roy Wood Jr. is amazing every time. He killed it. He was the host last night and brought his humor and his brilliance to the stage. And I texted him backstage and told him what a great job he was doing, because I'm having fun. I was like, it looks like it. Yeah, because it was one of those moments. So it was a great moment. And then and I ended up standing the whole time. Even a Secret Service person was like, thank you, Brittany. Was it Brittany Howard?
Howard.
Mm-hmm. I thought Brittany Howard was Alabama Shakes.
We'll fact check it.
Okay. Somebody will. But I stood up the whole time, and the Secret Service woman was like, you got a seat? And it's like, no, ma'am. Did you have a seat? And I said I gave it up to someone, to a woman who, was complaining that she wasn't going to stand here and watch. She wasn't going to be able to stand and watch the whole time. And so I gladly stood and watched, and George Wallace did not offer his seat or anything. But it was a great time to see a lot of friends I haven't seen in a very long time. So
Brittany Spencer.
That was it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Brittany Spencer.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought
must be great. It has to be really a great feeling to have a bunch of friends that are also on the list for the White House Juneteenth. That's your squad.
Yeah, some of us have squads, and some of us have, our peeps that we hang around.
Yeah, exactly.
But Damon, I was thinking about this just the other day, talking to Ahmed, as a matter of fact. I wish that, I could, my greatest wish is that, I could, take everyone with me to the White House in an event like that and enjoy it the way that I have been blessed to do over the years. And because it really does something, even when you're standing in long lines. And I mean, the line, Yolanda will tell you when we gone to the White House Christmas party, the line is long. This was longer, but
Wow.
the weather was great.
Good.
It was overcast, and it didn't start raining until I got back to my hotel last night. So
Made it.
All of my friends probably in line at the Rick Ross car show.
And they didn't get in. I promise you that. They didn't get in. Rick Ross car show. Shut that down.
So I just wanted to thank the folks of the White House for a wonderful invitation and opportunity to do that. And if you ever get an invitation, no matter how late it is, because that was the other thing was about the cost of flying there with very little notice, and we'll just kind of bite the bullet and do it. But everybody should, if you have the opportunity to do it, I highly recommend it.
So yeah, we did talk about this because I was invited as well. I didn't go because it's my wife's birthday week and I wanted her to come with me, and it was like very specific.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no plus ones on this one,
right?
So I did read, like I said, it was last minute. They sent it out, and I reached out to our connection, and for the media people. I'm like, hey, can we try? My wife's birthday. I'm trying, I'm trying to be cheap and not spend too much money, and this would cover a lot right here, right? If I could get her to go to the White House. And they tried, she put her name on, send it out there, but she never got the invite.
Yeah.
So I just
because when you send information, I'm not saying anything about your wife, man, but sometimes they do a little check on you, and then they come back with the invite.
You might want to find out who you married, man.
No, I know who I married. So
KGB operative.
But no, it was it's cool to get those invites. I'm not gonna lie, like I've gotten a couple invites in the past, and like you said, Sybil, it's always been last minute, and I'd be looking at the plane flights. But now, guess what I've done? I'm a Frontier, I'm a Frontier guy now.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed up for the little bear thing. Yeah. I can't fly into DC because that costs too much. But Baltimore, I can fly into Baltimore for $15. I can. Yes, I can. $15. I just got to get down to DC. But
that's 3/4 of the trip of the battle.
It's done. It's absolutely done for $15. And then, whatever happens after that, we'll figure it out. But I'll take the $15 round trip.
Right.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, that's worth it. That's really worth it.
Absolutely. I'll go to Baltimore.
I promise you. And taking a baseball game and get some crabs and and all that kind of stuff.
Hey, my Bears play the Commanders this fall in October 26th. I plan on being there somehow, some way. I will be flying into Baltimore. Just want to let you know, because that DC flight, I don't care. I don't know what it is about Frontier in DC. It's around $500 regardless of what happens.
DC. Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave DC alone and just fly into Baltimore.
Right. Huh? And my window was so short that, like I got on a 7 a.m. flight yesterday. I had to make a stop. And so I need to be as close to DC as possible because of the short window and being able to get there and get to the White House on time, because they open the gates at 5:30 and they close them at 6:30. Well, there were so many people out there that they had to keep the gates open a little bit longer.
Oh, okay.
But we were all in line, and I mean that the line was just snaked in front, just snaked back and forth and back and forth, and then around, and then they split us in half, and then we go through. And then there was a lot of people who didn't quite make it through with their identification. They just asking them to sit there off to the side while they do a little investigating. But it's great time, and it was good to see not only the vice president have a good time, all the members of the Congressional Black Caucus were there, and it was just a lot of fun. So thank you again to Ro and Erica Lowe at the White House and all the good folks that were in on that and as a part of the invitation. So if someone invites you to go, go. And then tell
Depending
you.
on who's in office.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the other thing. A lot of people were really anxious to go because people are a little nervous about the outcome of November.
Yeah.
But Joe Biden got off a plane from Europe, came and partied. He had walk-up music. The Marine band gave him walk-up music, and they performed with all of those black performers. I'm telling you, all those white boys, they deserve their props.
Okay, so I wasn't gonna ask you that because we were watching. I saw a clip of Kirk performing, and Alton Walker, comedian and part of the Morning Hustle. He was like, "Wait a minute, I know Kirk's band."
Right.
He's like, "This white boy's performing." I'm like, "It's Juneteenth event. They better be singing behind Kirk."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, you white boys go ahead and sing now.
They were really, really good. And all of the performers like, give the band some. And the band members are going, give us what? What are you talking about? But anyway, I've talked long enough about that. So thank you for allowing me to talk about that.
Hennessy on South Lawn, baby.
Let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter in which we seek to super serve the African American community. And this is absolutely free. We'd love to have you subscribe. Please go to SybilWilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. We're here Monday through Thursday. And Khameron is one of our contributors. And next week, as I mentioned, for the Juneteenth celebration last night, next week our country will once again observe Juneteenth as a federal holiday. So what's going on, Khameron?
Yeah, I think in addition to the party yesterday, there's a whole lot of other digital programming being live streamed, and you can catch that on the White House's YouTube channel. You can catch that on whitehouse.gov. There's just going to be a lot of programs, not only ceremonial around Juneteenth itself, but also establishing a federal holiday for Emmett Till and Mamie Till as they consecrate the Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley National Monument. But there are plenty of concerts to be had. There are plenty of other arts programming that will celebrate Juneteenth just throughout the course of the entire week. It's a very busy day. It's a very busy week on Capitol Hill. The National Archives Museum is going to display the Emancipation Proclamation from
Thank
June
you so much.
to June 20th.
Yes, please do that.
Yeah, there's just so much going on celebrating the 160th anniversary of Juneteenth, when the slaves in Galveston, Texas, figured out that they had indeed been freed.
But this will be the second federal holiday, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is the second federal holiday, and Kamala Harris has officially declared Juneteenth as a national day of action. So for those of you out there who love to get Juneteenth off, there's plenty of stuff to do as well, just to commemorate and celebrate the sacrifices of our ancestors.
Like they said about Dr. King's birthday, it's a day on, not a day off.
Yes.
And one of those things is the National Voter Registration Plan.
Right. Yeah. So there's plenty to get into, plenty of things to volunteer for, plenty of ways to get involved in your community, plenty of ways to give back. And for those of you who are wondering, what has the Biden-Harris administration done for Black people lately? They keep a really good running list. Every year around Juneteenth, they always drop a list of all of the things that they've done for the Black American community. And they list some of those things here. More pertinently, they've been trying to combat efforts to erase or revise back Black history. I think a couple weeks ago, we talked about the book bans, how in cities all across the U.S., parent councils have been charging libraries to remove all sorts of books that fall under the critical race theory. And so the U.S. Department of Education has been specifically targeting those to ensure that African American history remains sacrosanct. Not to mention funding for preserving African American history across the country. Just in the form of federal grants that has increased. But if you're curious, you can go to whitehouse.gov, and they have a giant running list of things that they have done for the Black community. But we'll see come November if it.
Well, hopefully before November, we'll have a better sense of that. But here's the thing that struck me, and looking at your list, Khameron, and seeing news stories on national news programs, and Black people say he needs to talk about this stuff more. And like, what are we not doing that we're not exposing to people what the Biden administration is doing? Because they do it, and we don't need to necessarily ask him to keep doing it. We can do it for him. We can help him out. But people, I guess you hear what you want to hear, you see what you want to see, and and people are saying, "Well, I'd vote for him, but he's just not telling me why." Well,
he's a Democrat. That's the plan.
Well, I think
just
that
vote D.
We live in a very media curated time, and it takes a concerted effort for people to step outside their own algorithms of content. Likewise,
English, please.
You have to Google stuff that you want to know. You have to look it up in some way, shape, or form. I think that people also forgot that Joe Biden campaigned on being a moderate, and for him to tout the Black agenda as his own, for the common voter to expect that is just unrealistic.
Even
especially considering
in this day and age, because I mean, he has had a Black woman as his running mate. Now the first Black woman to sit in the White House as vice president. He nominated the first Black woman to the Supreme Court. He has given billions of dollars to historically Black colleges and universities. He has taken care of the student loan debt for millions of people, and especially Black folks. They are working on getting medical debt erased so that it's not on your credit reports anymore. I mean, all of these things. Let's not even talk about the fact that, for Mima and Papa, they only have to pay $35 for their diabetes medicine.
Yeah.
How do you say that you don't know these things? What are we not? We're not doing our jobs. So every day, do we need to come on and tell them that?
Yeah. And
what has Biden done for Black people lately?
Sure. Yeah. And perhaps I just think that people should also understand that just the reality of the situation, that whoever you put in the executive office isn't going to drastically improve your quality of life in 4 years. You are.
Come on, Khameron.
There you go. Yeah.
Message.
But people want to hear about what people are doing for them, not necessarily what we're doing for ourselves. That's another argument that I've heard, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but certainly sometimes it's just upon us. It's incumbent upon ourselves to put it out there and let folks know, and keep telling them.
Biden's Black Bulletin every week.
Used to be the Green Book. It used to be the Green Book for restaurants and hotels. As you travel throughout the country, now we just have we have the Biden Bible for Black folks.
Right, the beneficial Biden's Black Bulletin.
Right. Yeah. So
I mean, like I said, when it comes to the Democrats and trying to get the Black vote, it's almost like they feel like they have us in their pocket, that we are easy to get, that they can make a push right before the election. And that's when I talked to some people in our business, Sybil, in our business, and we kind of dealt with it this week. You start seeing campaign dollars start trickling into certain Black companies, media companies that can all of a sudden start promoting, what they do. And from my understanding, hearing some of the things that are going on where I work at, those dollars usually come 3 weeks before election day.
And let's not forget the Sunday before election day, souls to the polls, and that's when
they go hard.
Yeah.
You're gonna have Obama jumping. It's 3 weeks before election. That's when they want to go ahead and campaign.
Yeah.
And they did, and for them it works because it's like you don't really care until it's time. You're not trying to make a decision. We're not trying to really do any homework. They just say if we push before the election, that'll get your attention. So that's what they're doing.
Short-term memory.
Yeah, and of course they'll have the predominant vote from our block, but we need to energize voting block as well, because even if majority of us that are voting vote for them, a lot of people are not interested. A lot of people are tuned out from this whole election. They're not happy with either choice. Right. So it's going to take some motivation just to stimulate the block that they do have. And so, yeah, I guess we have to do it too. So, yeah, Biden's Black Bulletin on Tuesdays. And
Biden's Black Bulletin on Tuesdays. There you go.
Black beneficial Biden Black Bulletin.
Because a non-energized black voting group is almost guaranteeing a Republican win.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Every single time we don't feel like there is something to gain from an election, the Republicans win every time.
Yeah, and we know
the lack of interest.
Yes.
That song is already played. We know what to expect, even more so. I see you, Yolanda. I see you.
Sorry.
So let's move to the what's really going on question. Father's Day is coming up, gentlemen, and this question was prompted by Russell Wilson, opening up about parenthood during a recent episode of the I Am Athlete podcast. The former Denver Broncos and now Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback spoke about the responsibility of being a stepfather to his wife Sarah's 9-year-old son, Future Jr., with whom she shares with her ex, Future. Russell recalled meeting his stepson for the first time when he was only a little bitty baby. And he said, he crawls into my lap and it was like, this is going to be my responsibility. I remember leaving that night and God saying to me, raising this child is going to be your responsibility. And realizing, praying to God, are you sure this is what you want me to do? He said, son, this is for you. Have you all ever had that responsibility? Not necessarily for your children, Damon, and your children, Med, but other kids that you come in contact with, or perhaps that you, or maybe children that came into your life as a result of a previous relationship or something.
I was the kid.
Even better.
I was that kid. I was the kid where my dad took me, you know what I'm saying, and my sister. And even though we still had a relationship with our father, my dad came in when I was 5. My sister was like 2, and we were in the courthouse.
So he was never your stepdad. He was always your dad.
For the most part, yeah. Like as long as I remember being in the courthouse and changing my last name when I was 5 years old to his last name. And
maybe on that first or second date, he might have been uncle.
You know what I'm saying? My dad did tell me that one time. I did tell him, you're not my real dad or something like that. I had a moment like most kids do
right.
in those kind of situations. But I was the kid. So that's why whenever I see those Russell Wilson people hating on him, I'm like, what do you want that man to do? You want him to treat him like a stepchild? Do you want him to treat him like he's different? You don't want that. I never felt like that from my dad. I never felt like that from my dad's side of the family. Like that, those people, they're technically not my blood relatives, but they've been with me since I was 5, 6 years old. Like I'm closer to them than any other people that, relative wise, anybody.
Sure.
It's his side of the family, which is hilarious to me. So it is what it is. So, when it comes to, Father's Days and things of that nature,
so how do you handle that with Father's Day?
I wish them both a happy Father's Day.
So do you do anything with both of them?
No, I mean, I'm here, I'm here in Atlanta with my dad. My father lives in New York. So it just so happens my brother has been up there over the last couple months. And so, we have the same father, different mother. But my brother's been with him, and they haven't had the best of relationships in the past. Like I know I have the best relationship with, out of all his kids, I have the best relationship with him. And so it's good to see that my brother's up there with them and kind of, building back that bond. But, I treat him like,
plus, Sybil, you don't have to do anything. It's Father's Day.
I know that's right.
Happy Father's Day, Pops. That's it. That's all you. That's my wife going on a girls trip during Father's Day weekend. So hey, God bless it. God bless.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a diminished emphasis put on Father's Day. To answer your question, yes, Damon has a sister which I raised. She was 5 years old when he was born, and so to be in the household, to be dad. To my son biologically and to his sister, my daughter Christiana. It's always been a family unit. Always tried to make sure she felt equal. And that's the thing. As long as they're respectful, it's easier to do. Right. They all go through that rebellious period where they feel like, you're not really my daddy anyway, or you treat him better than me. And I'm like, well, you don't hoop, you don't need no Jordans. You can get some Vans,
Hey, Damon, did she live with you?
Yeah, of course.
So she lived with you from what age?
From birth?
From 5 until she went away to college.
Wow.
That's interesting. No, I find that interesting for me, but I guess because you had your biological son there. But I just never felt that. It was funny. Like after, I guess we were joking about the dating phase. You're not my dad, and that was like early on. I never had that feeling of like I just never had that feeling. In my memory, it's always been he's been my dad. You know what I'm saying?
So you have your dad and you have your father.
Right. He's my dad. The man, he raised me. That's my dad. And my father's in New York. Great man too. I love my father. But my dad raised me, you know what I'm saying? And I'd never, I only say step sometimes just to differentiate the two for other people, you know what I'm saying? But that's why it was just very interesting to hear Damon say that about his daughter. And I was just like, I just in my head, I just didn't know how that works.
Well, she actually has
like that.
a relationship with her biological father as well. So he's always been her dad.
Got you.
So it's not like I replaced him. I was just the man of the house. And I was raising her, and
in your house,
right? In our home, yes, indeed, 100% of the time.
Got it.
So only once did she plot to poison all of our porridge in her journal. in her little journal, she's like, they're all together and blah blah blah. But no, I have a wonderful relationship with her to this day. Christiana is a gem. She's my daughter. I acknowledge her as that. And now, I'm married. Juanita has 2 kids when I met her, and they were like maybe 7th grade and high school.
What's the difference? I know there's a difference. I know there's a great difference right there. What was that like for you?
It was a smooth transition. I'm actually the first guy that has lived in the house with them as far as that's concerned. So she never dated anyone that moved in. And then I came along and I was, let's get this be a family. And we went from where they were living and bought a house together. So they had this home as our home. And it's been a cool thing. So, you got a comedian for a stepdad. You never even, you don't squawk about that one. I'm a fun guy. I stay out the way. One thing about it though, when kids are that age, the parenting, if you have any differential parenting philosophies, you have to fall back with yours and allow the parent to do what they've been doing. Otherwise you'll clash. And then if you clash, it's you against all of them. So you don't want that. So I just mind my business. It might have been a thing or two where I might have handled something differently, but that's how they were doing things already. So I might express it in a quiet moment, but not in the moment of the situation where I'd be like, my house, my rules,
Right.
I wasn't that type of guy. So that's why I was smooth. And then, a couple years in, after, we were loud around here doing it, her son moved out because he didn't want to hear that no more. So he went, he joined the Air Force after one good session. He like, enough of this. I'm going to the military. I don't want to be listening to that. because his room was on the same wall. In fact, I'm in his room now, and our room is there. And now it's this.
Damon was like, I know how to get rid of you. Now
I'd rather go to battle.
You send that man to the military.
Ran him off to Kuwait, first deployment.
That's funny. All right, so Khameron, you've been on both sides of these issues. I'm thinking, or set me straight in terms of your biological father, and then losing your biological dad and your stepfather.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been a great pleasure to see my stepfather, who has his own biological children, who are making their way over from Africa. He has really just truly loved our family, just as much as his own, and he really does so much when it comes to taking care of my grandma or my grandfather. And it's just been a great pleasure to see. So I truly do love him very, 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 very much. And he never sought to replace my biological father, who my mom had divorced. I want to say like sometime when I was in high school. So like before I want to say like 2008, 2009, something like that. So he never really sought to replace him or anything, but I never let my mom's quest to find love again get in the way of my personal feelings. I never really put my feelings into that. I think that's something that she truly deserves. She's a fantastic woman. Who definitely deserves that. And I would, after my dad passed, my dad and I had reconciled pretty much everything. I think I might have mentioned this before. On his deathbed, he just sat me down and said, "Hey, if you got anything to ask me now. If you got any beef, let's lay it out." And I was like, "Okay." And so I just talked to him about anything and everything. And then he went on and passed from there. So I know a lot of people who have just come to expect that when you date someone now, kind of like post 30, that they might have kids. Mm-hmm. But one of the common misconceptions,
in my case, grandkids, yes.
Yeah. One of the common misconceptions that I try to tell people is that don't assume that they're looking for a co-parent out the gate. Mm-hmm. People usually have their stuff together, and don't assume that don't just start future tripping thinking that you're going to have to carry those person's burdens. Just fall in love with them and make great memories, and then all of a sudden you'll have a whole lot of people telling you Happy Father's Day in Damon's case.
Right. Yeah. Hey Khameron, how old were you when your stepdad kind of, you met him, like, when you like before you married your mom, but kind of entered your life, if you will?
Yes, I believe I was 28 years old.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Got you. Right. That's
yeah.
Okay. No, that's dope.
And you say he has children that are in Africa, but they're working their way here, you say?
Yeah. Yep, they're making their way over here. He has.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing that you're grown now, because he was feeding them for like 28 cents a day over there, but now it's going to take more money.
It'll be a whole different meal plan.
Oh my
God. He's going to be a lot less generous, but once they make it to the States, man.
But I mean, they're all kind of like plotting their own course individually. His oldest daughter wants to go to Canada and be a physician. His son wants to do computer science and coding here in the Midwest. They're all kind of plotting their courses, and I'm just really excited to just to welcome them to America, tell them what being a Black American is like versus being a Black African, and how there is a difference between the two.
Khameron can't wait to break down the rules to him.
Right.
Hey, welcome.
What?
Now,
And what part of the continent are they from?
They are from Nigeria. They are Nigerian people. Yep.
So
Yoruba.
let me ask you this quickly because I'm going to get the times up
Right.
signal.
Yeah.
Did your mom's relationship with your stepfather and your relationship with your stepfather, does that affect or color your relationship with children of women that you may be dating?
I don't mind dating women with children. I think I don't mind it at all. Yep.
That's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
that was my thought process too. Like when I married, of course, my wife, and we neither one of us had kids when we got together. But I never had an issue in my 30s. No, I had no issue.
I only had one request, and this shows my youth. When my mom started dating after my dad died, and I was like 8 or 9 when my dad died, and my mother, when she started dating, the only thing I wanted was somebody who was going to teach me how to drive, because I knew it wasn't going to be my mother, because we were going to drive each other crazy. But I just wanted a guy. I wanted a guy to teach me how to drive. It turns out to be one of my uncles that took us to the cemetery to learn how to drive. But I just wanted, if she was going to bring anybody home, just somebody who would teach me
how to drive.
Come on, man. Let's move to trending topics. And before we leave this, happy Father's Day to each of you, dads in your own way, I'm sure, and to your dads, and in the memory of your dads as well. To you, Khameron, and to you, Damon. Damon's dad, also known as Gordon Parks.
Yes, sir.
Sunny boy.
His twin.
For sure. Let's move to trending topics. Damon, what you got going on? Where you going? What's the word? What's the haps?
Beautiful news. Friday, I will be in D.C. with Frankie Beverly, Keith Sweat, and After 7.
Oh,
one of the 2 remaining dates I have with the Farewell Frankie tour.
Mm-hmm.
The other one will be the following weekend, Saturday in St. Louis. And then Saturday, I'm actually sneaking into St. Louis to do a show. Then Sunday, we're doing a free Father's Day Shy Soul Comedy Jam at Navy Pier outdoors, Ravinia style.
Ooh,
yeah.
Bring your blankets, and it's going to be really nice down on the Polk Brothers stage. So it's going to be an action-packed weekend. Looking forward to getting to DC to see Frankie and the team. See Keith with his brown liquor. And happy Father's Day to all the men.
And when you go on stage, just say, Sybil said, "Hey, Khameron." That's all you got to do. That's all.
Indeed, that's the guy.
Hey, Khameron. They have a Polk Brothers stage. Do you guys remember Polk Brothers?
I do.
Mm-mm.
Wow, that takes me back. Going there and getting the big color TV and
Polk Brothers was the first Best Buy.
To get all your appliances. We got our first VCR there. Yep, all of that. Absolutely.
Yep.
Man, oh man.
So I guess the Polk family still got a few dollars. They sponsor stages because it's Polk. I think it's Polk Brothers Park as well.
Oh, nice.
Give them the whole damn park. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's right there by Lake Point Tower, so it's not a cheap part of real estate.
That's a nice piece of real estate right there.
Yeah,
for sure. Sorry, folks, we don't mean to leave you out. Just a little south side of Chicago reminiscing. Med, what you got going on?
Meetings this week. It's we call it the Blitz here in Atlanta, and so it's a bunch of meetings with record labels and things like that, getting to see new artists. What do they have to provide? The highlight, I wasn't with the company at the time, but last year, Sexy Red made her debut at one of these things, and they were like, who the heck is this?
Mm-hmm.
And 8 months later, biggest rap star out. So these are the kind of things that happen at these meetings. So I'm looking forward to meeting, seeing, and also, getting together and seeing friends that I haven't seen in a while that are in industry, things of that nature. And then Birthday Bash is next week. If anybody
I thought that was your wife. That's what you're calling your wife's celebration.
Hey, Birthday Bash. She's not going to be here. She's me in Jamaica with her sisters.
Nice.
Hey, and enjoy yourself. So, but for Birthday Bash is next Saturday. And it's going to be at State Farm Arena here in Atlanta. So if anybody wants to come down to Atlanta and be taking a very, very good show, because I know the secret artists that will be showing up, about 15 of them that aren't on the billing. Yes, It is a huge event.
That sounds like an Elroy R.C. Smith production.
Don't it know?
Well, I certainly hope from these meetings this year, no new sexy reds emerge.
From my understanding, the last meetings, they didn't think she was going to emerge from that either. When they saw her perform, they were like, "Ooh, she ain't gonna make it." Well,
yeah, that's my point.
Well, but yeah, no. So if you're in the Atlanta area, that is a huge event. It's going to be a very, very great concert. Probably one of the best ones that they've done. Like I said, just knowing who can be a part of it outside of the listed people. So it's gonna be dope.
That's very cool. It's very cool. Khameron, you have anything going on?
Yeah, I mean, Juneteenth probably one of the busiest days in the neighborhood. Lots of festivals, lots of bouncy castles. If you're looking for a place to just totally exhaust your kids, look no further. And then after Juneteenth is the 4th of July stuff.
Right, just like
crazy, ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, we're already
BET Awards, Essence Fest, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Weekend. Yep.
Heard they canceled the 4th of July fireworks in Chicago.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
What happened?
I
don't know if it's fear of the crowds or fear of violence. But
it could be budget too,
and fear of not having the money.
All right. Yeah. And when's the DNC show up?
August.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Well, boy.
And you can also expect an influx of crazy white boys coming down from Milwaukee into Chicago
absolutely.
in July.
And we have NASCAR coming too.
And NASCAR, the 4th of July
weekend.
It's not the 4th of July. It's like that. The 4th of July is in the middle of the week. And
man, they're bringing it back. No one asked them to.
I heard they were very financially successful for them.
That's what I thought. I heard it was
really. I heard the opposite. Okay.
Okay, that's what I heard too, Sybil. I heard that it actually went off well, so I wasn't sure how they felt. I remember going to Chicago afterwards and seeing the aftermath of it. I'm like, man, they tore this stuff up.
Right.
And that's what the people are upset about. They're already street closures because it takes a couple of weeks to set it up, and then it takes time to break it down. So, we're inconvenienced for that. Those proceeds that went to not our communities. A lot of people could care less, but it's still something to say, something to do. Chicago's a world-class city. You got to have world-class events. So power to it.
I feel like a Brandon Johnson move out the way. Here comes Mayor Damon.
Yeah, but I gotta get back into the city limits because they caught me out here voting. Early voting, so now I got to go back to use my mama's address. Actually, the mayor, I'm a supporter of his, and he's a supporter of mine. He came to my city winery show,
right? Yeah,
unannounced. And then I got a text from him prior to that at like 6:15 in the morning, directly from him to do a Father's Day, the city's Father's Day event on the 13th. So shouts out to the mayor, Brandon Johnson, 4 more years.
Okay.
And
tell them that the door is always open for young political talent to come on. Well, we'd love to shoot the stuff with them.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We'll make that happen.
This happened in Atlanta today at Peachtree Center, a shooting 4 shot in downtown Atlanta, including the suspect. 3 people were shot in the afternoon in the food court at the Peachtree Court on Peachtree Road in downtown Atlanta.
One of them.
According to the chief of police, a 34-year-old male entered the food court with a gun and got into an argument with another male. The suspected shooter, who is a convicted felon, shot that man and then shot 2 other people. So there are your 3 people who were shot. This started around 2:24 in the afternoon. An off-duty Atlanta police officer engaged the suspect and shot him, putting an end to all of that foolishness. And the individuals who were injured by the shooter were a 47-year-old man, a 69-year-old female, and a 70-year-old female from Atlanta. It's not known if the females who were injured had any connection to the incident.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy because I literally was leaving my building, leaving the radio station right as this thing was happening, and they did a lockdown because no one knew what was happening.
Right.
They just knew there was a shooting happening. It wasn't right by us, but everywhere in the downtown area kind of just locked up. And so if you didn't have a key card to get in, you couldn't get into any building downtown. And then the all clear happened like an hour later. And so, when you see those things and hear those things, obviously the text chat blew up with everything that was going on. It's just one of those things, because those food courts, there's a lot of them in Atlanta.
Right.
And they're busy.
Mm-hmm.
Good, very busy. So honestly, no one died, right?
Thank God, yeah.
No one died.
Gwen Webb on Facebook said we also had a bus chase. Somebody stole a bus. Oh, speed, and went on a high-speed chase. They were talking about doing the Speed 3, so maybe they're.
So wait, that's what I saw that on social media. I thought, because there's actually a movie being filmed downtown. I saw that this morning, and so I'm like, oh, someone said, hey, they're filming Speed. They're talking about the bus. I didn't know that. I actually thought they were talking about the movie that was being filmed.
We had a runaway bus here this week too that smashed through several cars and ran into a building. I don't know if the driver was impaired somehow of the bus, but that's what the people thought it was a speed, or they thought they were shooting one of the Chicago Med or PD shows.
Right.
But it was just a bus plowing through stuff like Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop.
Did y'all see the bull that ran off during? Bull got out of the pen and got somebody. And I always thought that was an exaggeration about wearing red. And they got
went straight for the lady in red.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And put the foo-fops on her. It was sad to see. But they were just standing there. People were yelling, "Hey, there's a bull!"
Hey, watch, yeah.
Bull in a China shop. I mean, it
right.
It
gives
really.
whole new meaning.
I was more like a bull in the old Swiss malt liquor commercial.
Man.
That's before your time, man.
Yeah.
Swiss malt. There was a malt liquor. It was socially acceptable in society, and it had this
so
bull that would bust through the wall. It was kind of like the Kool-Aid Man, but it was a bull.
The Kool-Aid.
Don't you remember when the Kool-Aid? You know.
Oh yeah, Kool-Aid to bust through the bricks. Well, we had a bull for malt liquor. Swiss malt liquor
wall.
bull.
They would come through the brick wall.
That's wild.
Yeah. Speaking of guns, the first son, Hunter Biden, son of President Joe Biden, his trial ended today with after barely 3 hours of deliberations, a jury of 6 men, 6 women, 7 black folks, 5 white folks, determined that Hunter Biden was guilty regarding the use of lying on the forms in order to procure a gun, that he lied that he was not involved in drugs, and he very much was. They called him an addict at the time this happened a few years ago. And it was a very emotional trial for members of his family that testified on his behalf, including his grown daughter. And this is where it gets a little weird, and I've forgotten about this story, but it came back to me, including his former girlfriend / sister-in-law.
Yes.
Once his brother Bo died,
yes,
then he started dating Bo's widow.
Oh,
and she's messy. The one that realized that he was, as a matter of fact, she said he introduced her to crack, I think, or at least to cocaine. And she realized that he had a gun, and she's the one that took the gun and disposed of it. Just
there was a lot.
Now she want to do the right thing.
Right.
It
was like hearing the testimony and stuff. Yeah. I'm just like, wait, are these people for Bo or against them? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, because it feels like everyone
what it sounded like to
under
me,
the bus.
What it sounded like to me was they were both very lonely, and he, may have reminded her of his brother, or their common bond of missing Bo Biden, who was beloved according to everyone that met him. And so they got involved in a personal relationship. How did that go with President-to-be Joe and First Lady? You know how you said you really missed having her in the family?
I didn't mean it like that, Bo. I didn't mean it like That's one of those, what are you doing, son? And you know what? You bringing this up, and maybe I just hope, is it true that Jermaine Jackson married Randy Jackson's the 2 and the 4 kids are like
they're
brother cousins, sister cousins,
brother cousins, right?
Sibling
cousins.
Wow. Yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, wait, really? I was like, God, dog.
Oh yeah.
So like when I heard the boat, it reminded me of the boat story. I'm just like,
and I think Randy, I think Jermaine preceded the Biden drama. But anyway, he was found guilty on these 3 charges. The sentencing they have not announced. It's usually within 20 days of the announcement of the verdict. And everybody is really very emotional about this, and saying that he's gone through a very difficult time with the drug addiction. And apparently, people on the jury, everybody knows somebody or has some sort of connection with somebody, and so that was also the truth in this jury. And they don't think that he will get time. And the jury said no, he shouldn't get time, but he has acknowledged his wrongdoing, and he's got bigger fish to fry, because in September he's got tax stuff, federal tax stuff.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this is, like, this is just ammo for the conservatives to the right. Because Trump was already on it when it came to talking about what he plans on doing when it comes to Joe Biden and the Biden. Like, they're making it look like
crime family.
They're making it like that's what they're making it look like. Like, this is a crime family. Like, hey, we're gonna take it down. Joe's the head
Biden cartel.
No, they are all in when it comes to Joe Biden being a crime boss, and and trying to take down like this crime family. And it's very interesting, because the thing is, if Trump wins, best believe he's gonna have every court in the country going after Biden.
Yeah, every speeding ticket, everything that they
everything.
Yeah.
So which is it? Is he a crime boss, or is he a feeble, incompetent old man that can't control anything?
He's neither. He's a man who wants to be our president. Let's move to entertainment. Has anybody seen Bad Boys?
No,
yes.
I'm not yet.
I loved it. How about you?
I enjoyed it. I'm all for anything Martin Lawrence. Martin single-handedly, revolutionized stand-up comedy for urban America, and I'm a fan. And he has some funny parts. His diction was a little slower, but it was still, you could still see old Marty Marr in the movie. Yeah. And there's a great surprise for you all. I won't say this with a giveaway, but one of the younger characters grew up and became that guy.
Yeah, right.
Look, I've been seeing the teasing of it. I'm like, I need to see it this week, because next week I know when it comes to the internet, all bets are off. So I'm probably going to see the scene within 6 days if I don't go see it in the movie. So I'm looking forward to that, kind of having an understanding of what he did.
And it did very well at the box office globally. The numbers range between 105 and 120 million.
That'll do it. Yeah, good for them.
Between the U.S. and the rest
domestically,
of the world.
50 something as well.
Mm-hmm. There was already talk about Bad Boys 5.
Probably going to be the last one. Yep, I think so. I think they're going to do one more.
Yeah, but at this point, Mark gonna have to be the angry lieutenant. He can't be doing no chase.
Right. His days of chasing and all of the other stuff that goes along with it.
I figured that's where the movie was in it. Like the series was going to end up with them being like almost like passing the torch to another duo.
Sure.
Yeah. Right, and I thought that was going to be Will's son.
Right. Well, that's still available.
Will's son person.
Full possibility.
A lot of
people were excited. Females were excited about Will's son. That's what I heard.
Yeah, he's not. He's dead on the ice. Not only that, Jerry Bruckheimer, who is the producer, said that they are looking at a number of different sequels: Pirates of the Caribbean, Bad Boys, as well as Top Gun 3. Anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody?
Top Gun did
as well as Top Gun 2 did. Yes.
Well,
Like
that's
you,
what. But
Tom
here's the
Cruise,
thing.
you
Already with
fucking with
Bad
him.
Boys, there's already talk. They're like, let's shoot around some ideas. But Top Gun are like, well, we're talking to Tom, and maybe we'll have
Really? I thought Top Gun did so freaking well in the box
Why
office,
wouldn't
and
they?
Tom killed it. I'm shocked that they're not. I thought they would fast track the 3.
Yeah.
It's also like
Well,
less stunt intensive. He just has to sit there.
Right, because you've got the whole new young Top Guns right there that they brought onto this one.
Tom said, "I'm going to fly a plane. I'm going to fly a plane, and I will fly."
It might be a biplane, but we'll get you on a plane, Papa. So.
I'm never too old to fly a fighter jet on my own.
Sure.
Well, that's what Mission Impossibles are for, I guess, too. Let's close out with Jewel. Embracing the art of letting things play out can lead to unexpected and delightful surprises.
Come on, surprises.
And check out Yolanda's Jewel. And it really delighted me this morning when I woke up at 3:30 and looking at the video. And Ramsey is the star. Ramsey Superdog is a star there in the background. Yeah, just love him. All right, guys, thanks so much. Happy Father's Day in advance again to you all. And hope to see everybody back here again real soon. Thank you so much for your contributions. Appreciate you.
Happy Father's Day, everyone.